students. How are you all? I know that you all have been make up your mind that through to which subject you are going to study in class 11th, or you want to make your future. So those who have been selected biology as their subject for the study, I have the class for these students. Please make pay attention. First of all, let me discuss the small about the syllabus. We have the units, means we have 5 units in your syllabus, and from these 5 units, the first unit that we are going to start today is a diversity in the living world. Okay, in your syllabus we have the units, mainly the 2 units are from the plant kingdom and 2 from the animal kingdom, and the one is from the cell, means the general study of the cell we have in the 1 unit. Okay, so the botanical portion is a very important portion for the exams purpose, because in from that portion the 17 or 18 questions are going to come from the plant kingdom only. So be attentive for this portion. So the firstly we'll start today is the unit first, that is diversity in the living world, and in this unit we are having the 4 chapters. Chapter first is the living world, chapter second biological classification, then plant kingdom, and then animal kingdom. From these the first 3 chapters are very important. So the first chapter that we are starting today is the living world. So the living world chapter I am going to start. First tell me, what is the living organism? Living means the organism, the biological organism in all are the living organisms. So the first we are studying here the biology means bio plus logos. It is made of the 2 words, bio plus logos. Bio means the living and logos means the study. So in this we are going to study about the biological organism, means the living organism or the living world. So before starting about the living organism or the living world, I want to tell you some features of the living organism. We have some important features that make the organism as the living organism. For example, I have this pen, and if I am telling you these features, if you are founding these features in this span, then you will clear it that it is the living organism. But if these features are being absent, then it is not the living organism. So we have the 5 main important features for the living organism. First one is the growth, second reproduction, then metabolism, cellular organization, and consciousness. These are the living features of the living organism. From these features, the first 2 features that are not the defining features. The word defining means that it is only and only found in the living organism. That features we call the defining features. I will clear you in other points. The next one, the metabolism, cellular organization, and consciousness. These are not the defining features. Defining means these type of the features does not have any exceptions. If we are doing any feature and if we have any of the exception in the feature, then it means it is not the defining feature. But if any characteristic we are telling of the organism and we don't have any exception in that, then we call it the defining feature. Is it clear? So the first is our growth. Now growth means, what does the growth means? Growth means the increase in mass of the organism. Mass means that increase in size of the organism is called the growth. Now if the growth is increasing the size, then it is the main characteristics of the growth, means the size is being increased. And one most important thing, when the size has been increased of the organism, it is a permanent change. We cannot reverse it. You can say it is an irreversible permanent change of the individual. Now we have the 2 types of the growth. The first is the intrinsic growth and the second one is the extrinsic growth. Intrinsic growth means the growth that is defining the feature of the living body cells. Clear? Means the growth which is found in the living body cells is called the intrinsic growth. And extrinsic growth means, for example, it is the pen and the dust is being accumulated on the pan, then it is been increasing in size, but it is not the growth. Okay, the next one, it is Now in the same way, for example, I am telling here the small child is been increasing in growth, then it is intrinsic growth. But if the child is been wearing more and more and more and more clothes and been increasing in size, then it is not the growth, it is extrinsic growth. Understood? And extrinsic growth is the characteristics of the non-living organism, it is not the living organism. That's why I was saying that the growth is not the defining feature. Now the next is that the growth is, again we can classify into two types, indeterminate and the determinate growth. It is the very important question for the need purpose also. Indeterminate growth means these organisms shows the unlimited growth. Unlimited growth means throughout the lifetime they are showing the growth, and we know that the plants are the only organisms that have the indeterminate growth. The next one is a determinate growth, means the limited growth, as the animal cells have the limited growth at some period of the time they stop the growth, then they are called the indeterminate growth. This is all about this class. Next we'll discuss in the other class.